I'll leave my email in the chat, and you could always email me. Sure, this is recording. Yeah. You can always email me, and I will send it to you. All right, so let's get started. I know I had an hour and a half on this class. I don't think it's going to take us an hour and a half, but I definitely will leave time for Q&A. All right, let's get into it. So blogging, like I said, I'm very proud of all of you for being on here because I do think it helps immensely in so many ways. We're going to go over all those ways. So first and foremost, blogging, it helps you promote yourself and your expertise. This is why I feel it's so important, because not only is it help you get out there, but it also helps you get out there on the internet. So I can tell you guys, I used to build a ton of websites in my day. So I know all about SEO and everything. And no matter how much I optimize my websites, a blogging, I don't know what it is, they have a direct link into the websites. So it's like they have a direct link into Google. So when I started doing websites, which was like 10, 12, 15 years ago, it took literally 6 months for your website to actually get into the search engines, but you could do a blog and it would be immediately in there. And that's kind of how it is similar, although it doesn't take so long for search engines to pick up your website now, but blogging still has that direct connection. That's what makes it so helpful. So it really can also help you show your expertise with neighborhood updates, also what's happening in the marketplace, those things, as well as doing videos in your blog. So that anyone knows me or been around me, you know I'm going to push videos. So for those that don't know, videos are really, really huge. So any way that you can incorporate them in your blogs is a great, great way. So it can also help you sell more homes, showcase you as an industry leader in your local marketplace, and best of all, it helps you produce leads 24/7, because the blog works for you when you don't even know. Okay, so I used to do a lot of blogging for new home developers, and they would find my blog before they would find my website. That's how you can really help generate leads. Okay, especially too with everything that's happening in the home and the housing industry, when you guys have these people coming from out of state, they don't know the area. So that's where they start Googling and finding, and they find things in that area that they're looking for. And that's how then you could come up. Okay, this is how it worked for me, is I would start blogging about events happening in the area. And we're going to go over all that. Phone will not stop blowing up today. But it also, so the blog focuses on topics that people are looking for, like I said. So think about things that people want to know. Okay, especially think about who are you trying to attract. If you are attracting, so for example, when I did it for a new home developer, I knew that most of our clientele was from the Northeast. So I literally built my blog around that. I would talk about things that somebody moving to Florida would want to know. I would talk about events going on in that area that they would want to know. You know, industry trends, tips for new homeowners, general resources, but also talking about things related to that area. So for example, what I mean by that, this development that I did was on a river. So it was actually on the Manatee River. So those on the west coast of Florida, it was in Parrish, Florida. Anyone that knows Parrish, Florida, it's like a no man's zone. Nothing is there. So what did I blog about? It was very hard. I actually piggybacked off of Sarasota more, since Sarasota was a more up and coming area. But talking about that, so take Sarasota for example. Okay, I grew up there, so I can talk a lot about it. But people that don't know Sarasota, there's a lot on the arts and culture in that town. So you have Ringling there. Ringling alone, just blogging about Ringling is huge. Okay, when you talk about like stuff like big things like that, big focal points in your area, those will help you in the search engine. Because if anyone is Googling that, then your blog will show up. So think about that, especially if you're in Orlando. Think about all those big attractions that people are talking about, or Naples, wherever, Fort Lauderdale, all of the stuff over here. Like even Fort Lauderdale, I know a big thing over here is the Air and Sea Show. You know, you could blog about that. It's something that occurs every year. Those types of things. But see, look at this. Websites that have blogs have 400 times more pages showing up in search results because they find your blog first. So blogging, it usually tells you, it's written casually. Okay? It's highly readable manner and about a variety of relevant issues. 81% of U.S. online consumers trust information from blogs. So it shows your credibility when you have this. So things like when you think about like how people look at this, this is where you start thinking about then the ideas of what you can blog about. Okay, so like when you blog, okay, when you think about blogging, because like think about this, we all had to do essays in high school, right? We all were not supposed to copy Cliff Notes, but we did somehow and didn't get plagiarized. That's basically what blogging is. Okay, so none of you should feel that if you can't write, you can't blog. Because everybody, there's something out there already. All it is, and this is what I always say with marketing, is marketing basically is taking somebody else's idea and making it better. Look at all the big companies. That's all they do. They copy each other. Apple copies IBM. IBM copies Apple. You see it all the time in everything. This is the same with marketing. Okay, so just you don't copy things verbatim, but you could take a little bit from here, take a little bit from there, and a little bit from there, and you basically mesh it and make it your own. That's what it is, guys. And the thing with blogging too, to remember, don't write big paragraphs. So search engines, how they like it is they like it broken up. And I'll show you some examples of how this looks. But you don't write a big long paragraph like an essay. You basically do little sentences on topics. This will help then also, that's how the search engines like to have things written. Okay, so this is where you start actually like thinking about things. But you see, when in blog, you see it's important to establish your credibility. So clients are convinced that you have the answers. This is where then you could show your expertise in an area when you're blogging about it. Why do it? So blogging puts your personality and a face behind a name, especially now if you start integrating videos. Okay, now I will tell you, videos are getting the way of the future. They don't help with search engine optimization though, so they don't help in getting found, but they do help on how people stay on a website. Okay, so be careful with that, because don't just do a video and not have any text, because search engine can't scan a video like they can a photo. So on photos, you could kind of hide keywords behind a photo, but you can't on a video. So that's why I say if you do a video, which again, videos are very popular. They're huge right now. But if you do a video, put what it is, put a little description under it if you're putting it in a blog or on your website. Okay, that'll help then search engines find that a little bit better as well. Also, make sure when you're doing videos that you are doing thorough descriptions on your YouTube channel. That also helps with the SEO. So make sure you fill out those descriptions. That's where I see a lot of agents don't take the time to do. Make sure you fill out the description of the video. Okay, that's how basically, again, remember, it's like these robots. That's how I always like look at things. It's a robot scanning your site. It's a robot scanning your videos. It's always a robot. So how would they find it? That's how you have to think about it. But the why the blog is it basically gives you the opportunity to convey ideas rather than just your contact information. So again, it shows the casual nature, can allow you to inject your personal tone as well, and it showcases your personality. It also, like I said, it increases web traffic. I'm telling you, I built, like I said, tons of websites. They always found my blog first. The blogging is where they go to first. So it is important that when you do the blog that you always have a call to action on the bottom. Okay, I always made sure I had a call to action, because that's what it is if they find your blog, they may not even know what website they're on. They just clicked on the title and went, and they don't even know what they're on. So always put a call to action of some regard. I'll show you some examples again how you could do this. But look at this. According to inbound marketing experts, HubSpot, okay, HubSpot's very, very big. They have a great blog. Okay, if you guys ever get stuck on blogging or everything, HubSpot has a great blog for marketing. They give like great ideas. But look, says businesses that blog regularly tend to attract 55% more traffic than those that don't. It's true. And if you really want your website to start increasing in traffic, blogging is the way to do it. So if you write well and you're blogging about a subject in which there's a sizable interest, you can end up with a large amount of traffic on your website. I'm not guaranteeing that you're going to get a ton of traffic load on here. But what happens is once you start blogging, okay, and if you are starting to look at your analytics, you will see that people will resonate more with certain topics. Okay, like for example, when I talk about that new development I did over in Parrish, there was actually this Husader, it was called like Husader Farms. Okay, I didn't even know what it is. I still don't even know what it is, but I blogged about it because it was all I knew over there. I didn't even know, and I blogged about it, that this was like the most popular farm place over there. And I got so much traffic on my website just from blogging about that thing. So that's what I'm talking about. Those are things like examples where people will actually search and they'll go and find your blog on stuff. So even events happening, like events are always great. People always want to know what's happening and going on in your area. That you can also do that. Have a blog on what's happening this weekend. Okay, that'll help you because you're basically talking about those events. So what it does is it builds client trust and knowledge in one place. So again, like I told you before, it provides you as showcasing you as the expert. When you're blogging about something, they think you know more than anybody. And that's where it shows off. So articles with hashed numbers in their titles are about 175% more likely to be shared. Okay, and I can actually vouch for this. I actually did a blog that was like five reasons to retire to Florida or Sarasota, Florida. I literally put 5. It was my number one blog I ever did. Stuff like that. Like, I don't know why they like numbers, but they do. So numbers, think of that in your title, especially if you're doing market updates, blog about it, do a video about it, do them both. You're already sharing the knowledge anyway. It doesn't take you much longer to write about it. Now you guys are gonna tell me you don't have time, but you do. You could do it. Stay connected to past clients on their terms. Okay, so blogs can house a large variety of content from tips and strategies from when you're buying or selling a home to the benefits of living in a certain neighborhood. So this is where it can help you keep connected with customers, help you keep in touch with them, including a wide variety of content can make your blog exceptionally interesting. Even to past clients. So that's why you got to think about content too. So if you're trying to target past clients, then talk about things that they would want to know. So if they're in a brand new home, maybe you talk about things of how to upkeep their home, things to watch out for after so many years living in a home, late landscaping, stuff like that you could talk about. So promote yourself. This is where I say the call to action has to be in your blog all the time. So this is where you have that call to action where you're promoting yourself and your business and your expertise, because you got to remember, like I said before, somebody's going to find your blog before they actually even are on your website. So they may not even know what site they're even on. The hope, and this is the benefit with the blog, is that they start clicking around your site after they've read your blog. So you can blog about anything, while you will want to keep a balance between things that are promoting strategies and humorous stories. This Venuosity, it gives you the opportunity to promote homes and important activities that you are hosting or participating in. So Yahoo stats state that 61% of US online consumers have made a purchase based on recommendations from a blog. So this is again where people just think that if it's an article, it's some expert writing it. So never stop becoming better. Become a better writer, a better communicator, a better agent. This is where you can actually talk about how you can actually do these. So you can write in an email, create a newsletter. So all of this blogging, as you guys are doing it, like think of it as like, I always used it as all of my content. So once I did a blog, that was my content that I was going to now share on social media. That was my content that I was going to include in my email blast. So don't think of it as you're just sitting here wasting time doing a blog. This now feeds your other media avenues to market yourself. All right, best practices. So focus on your audience, obviously. The goal of any blog is to capture your audience's attention. So build their interest. So think about the topics that they want to know. And again, you got to think about, so this is where I talk about a lot of the analytics, because I'll tell you guys with marketing, and I know a lot of you don't do this, but with marketing, it really is important to look at your analytics. Okay, and this could be as simple as even Instagram. Okay, you guys should all have a business account on Instagram. It's very easy to do. They don't make it like Facebook. You could literally turn your personal account into a business account. You all need to do this. It's very easy. And what it does is it provides that analytical data. So even if you aren't looking at, say, the back end of your website, which you can connect your InTouch to the back end to show the analytics. But just take Instagram, for example, since it's so easy to switch it to a business account. You can look at those insights and they're actually going to tell you, what people are looking at. They're going to show you what content are they interested in. They're going to see, like, when are they active on your site? What posts do they like over other posts? I think it gives you areas too, like areas where they're at. So that's where you can look. And I always looked at the analytics at the back end of my website, because I would be like, where are these people coming from? And that's where that new development, I saw a lot were coming from the Northeast. So then I decided to cater my blog to that. So then all of my writing, I would just make it towards the Northeast. So I would be like, okay, they're all out of state people. And that's how I would talk about. So that's why I would talk about things to know when retiring to Florida, things to know when moving to Florida, those types of things. And then talking about the area. I mean, you guys can get really out of the box here. Face it, we live in one of the areas, and I don't care where you live in Florida, we live in very up and coming areas of Florida. Because Florida always has stuff going on. So you can talk about that stuff. Like talk about, you can even take, say, for example, like since we have a ton of restaurants. I mean, I'm on the southeast Florida. There are tons of restaurants in here. So what I would do is I would break it down. Maybe you talk about if you're trying to cater to, like, say, the higher end people, then maybe you do a blog on, say, the top 10 5-star restaurants. That can be one. If you're catering to, say, another kind of people, maybe you say, okay, the best burger places in town. So get creative. This is where I say, like, think out of the box and maybe test it. Maybe do a couple and see people's responses on that. That's how you're going to know what they're looking for. Making sure you're looking at the analytics behind it. So optimize. So if you don't know what optimize means, it means basically your keywords. So choosing the best performing long tail keywords. Okay, long tail means that they're more easier to grab than short tail. So for example, a short tail keyword would be real estate. A long version of that, real estate, would be very hard to pull up for. You would need to spend a lot of money and everything to pull up for real estate. But what you could pull up for is, say, real estate in Fort Lauderdale. Okay, that's going to give me a better advantage than just real estate. So if I wanted that to be my keyword, then I would make sure in my blog that I write about something in regards to real estate in Fort Lauderdale. And I'm going to make sure that I keep saying that long tail keyword as often as I can in my blog. Okay, so for example, I can now say, if I say, okay, I want to pull up for real estate in Fort Lauderdale, then I'm thinking I need to do a market update of the Fort Lauderdale market and talk about what's happening. And that would be a blog right there. And then talk about and make sure that you keep saying that long tail keyword, real estate in Fort Lauderdale, real estate in Fort Lauderdale. Say it a few times in your blog. So here it gives you options of show it, put it in your post tile, put it in your URL. That's the little hashtag that it's making it. Not hashtag, I mean the www thing. The article, so put it in the body, put it in images. So remember, in images you can hide text. Okay, and I'll show you on InTouch how you do most of this. And then the meta description. Okay, make sure, like, it depends on what blog you're using. If you're using InTouch, I'll show an example of what you need to do for this. If you're using Outside, you get a little bit more extra that you could put in for, like, meta description, all that. Meta description is usually the back end. And then Ubersuggest. So this is also a great place that'll allow you to mine your real estate market for SEO gold. Just type in a keyword and you'll get thousands of blog topics to write on. So think about that. There was also another site I actually promoted, answerthepublic.com. The answerthepublic.com is a great site, and it can give you a lot of blogging ideas. What it is you can actually go to this site and you can do 3 searches a day. Okay, and it will try to charge you after that, but you don't need any more than 3. So just wait till midnight and do another search. What you could do, though, is it'll tell you everything that people are searching for online. So say if I said, okay, real estate in Fort Lauderdale, or real estate in Florida, it's going to tell me, it's going to give me this whole graphic of a circle that I can actually save. This graphic will tell me what people are searching for on Google right now in relation to those keywords. This is huge, guys. This is a huge marketing advantage that you have that I wish I would have had when I started. That site is golden, in my opinion, because it's telling you what people want to know. So it could be everything, and I'll show an example. If I have enough time, I'll show an example of that. But that's a great site, and so is the Ubersuggest. Okay, these are actually giving you content ideas. And then, of course, everything with marketing, whether blogging, regular marketing, it's always consistency. So what I used to do is I would say I did one blog a week that I would write. Okay, but I was working full time for this company. I did it one a week. That was me working full time. So you guys obviously don't have that kind of time, but literally if you said, okay, one a month, then by 6 months, you already have 6 blogs out there. Or if you do 2 a month, then you could double it. So just think of that as over time, this really starts gaining traction and it starts getting you out there. Okay, the thing is too is with consistency, it also helps on search engines. So the more that they see that you're active on your site and you're active on blogs, then they put you out there more. It's the same with social media. You got to remember these are all software and algorithms. This is all like you're tricking these people basically to put you higher and to put you out there. They see you're active, then they push you more. So make it consistent. Whatever it is, just stick to it. So if you're going to say, okay, I'm going to do one blog a month, stick to that. And if you're able to throw in 2 1 month, then throw in 2. But try to at least stick to that schedule. And then remember, with that blog, you now have content to share on social media. You now have content to put in your email newsletter. Okay, that InTouch gives you a newsletter every month. You can easily put a link to your blog in there. I'll show you how. So you should be creating, obviously, the utmost quality content. Create long-form posts that contain a ton of useful information and details about a particular topic or subject. So when doing so, create a blog post publishing schedule. Stick with that to maintain consistency in your blogging practice. It allows you to stick to blogging regularly and keeps your audience engaged, because then they're going to see that they're going to start looking for your blog. They really will. Even though they may not come out and say it, they will look for your blog. Solve problems. So this is huge. And again, that answerthepublic.com, it's basically telling you what problems people are having, because it's telling you what they're searching for. That is huge. Okay, I wish I had that. I'm telling you, that site is golden. It's giving you all of your content ideas right there. But look at what people are searching for. What do people want to know? And I'll show you an example of it. So you see what I'm talking about. But I know I did one recently and it said something like, what are the taxes in Florida? Okay, so that could be something that you blog about. There was something else about, I can't remember, but you'll see, I'll show you. But that's where it can give you the option, okay? Focus on what people want to know and then answer those questions. If people are literally trying to search on Google right now for those questions, that's where you can fill in that niche. Fill in what questions are they looking for with the blog. Okay, so best practices. Promote, obviously, your content regularly. And this is what I'm talking about, is making sure that you're pushing it out. Okay, don't just blog and leave it there. Push it out in your email blast. Push it out on social media. Make sure that you're sharing it. Also think about guest blogging. Okay, a lot of agents, I see it now more and more where agents are getting guest bloggers on. Think of other agents you could invite on. You know, even use your resources in your region. You know, we have our RVP here, Nancy Corey. She goes on, I see her go on people's blogs and they do videos. Ask, she will do it. If she can find the time, squeeze her in and say you want her to do a market update or something. There's nobody who knows more real estate than that woman. I'm going to say right now, that woman is like a walking encyclopedia for real estate. But use your disposals, like, or think about using anybody, you know, anybody you can think of that you want to have blog and post. Think about that stuff. Okay, think about maybe even doing, you could even do a guest post for a restaurant or a business. Okay, if you want to highlight a restaurant, there's no business out there that's going to say, no, you can't focus on, or you can't highlight me. So think about that. You can literally do a spotlight on a business, do a blog about them. And I'm going to tell you, one agent of mine did this after she took one of my classes. It's so funny. She gained so much traction on this blog. And she even told me, she's like, I need to do that again. That was so popular. She actually blogged about a new salon that opened up in her neighborhood. She gained so much traction from this blog that the salon owners even reached out to her. They gave her like some discounts for the thing. And the thing, it got her so popular with that simple blog of salons. But think about who are the key audiences of a salon. It's women. But now you have all that at your disposal. So that's the stuff to think about, is you never, like, what is popular? What do people want to know? Most women want to know about a salon. So think, like, that's what I'm saying. And then it's always going to benefit you to highlight a business. So optimize again, optimizing. Didn't I just do this? It's backwards, it went backwards. Okay, blog topics. So here are some ideas. Obviously, local area events, as I had mentioned, those are always going to be huge. Okay, so even right now, we're in football season. You know, talk about the football, talk about a football game coming up. There's people, you know, or not, or like something else coming up in your area. Write about a local business, as I just said. This, again, is going to help, because remember, when you do your blog and you share it, you now have stuff that you can share to social media and you can tag them. You can now tag them and say, hey, I did a blog for this particular business. You could share it on Facebook, Instagram, all of that, and tag those businesses. The housing trend. So again, what's basically your market update? What is happening in the market? How do mortgage rates affect local buying? Is this a buyer's or seller's market? That type of thing. Celebrity news. Are there any celebrities who recently sold or bought in the area or who have properties listed? Okay, so think like what's in there. Look at what's happening in the marketing, in the housing, in your area. What's been sold, what's been bought, those types of things. Create a list of top end properties for sale in your local market. Of course, schools, obviously everybody wants to know about schools, and schools are always good too, because if somebody's coming from out of state, they don't know the good areas for schools. Property taxes. Property taxes again, what can buyers expect in specific neighborhoods? Transportation. So I know down here we have like the Metro Rail, like so you could blog about that. I had an agent who did that. She actually talked about the Metro Rail and she experienced it and took pictures of herself on it and wrote about her experience for that. Job opportunities. I really actually wouldn't blog about job opportunities. I don't know why I threw that in there. I really wouldn't do that. Promote a neighborhood. So again, your neighborhood, and this is again where you can even throw in a video. So write about the neighborhood and then maybe do a video showing what the neighborhood looks like. That is what is going to be a great blog right there. And again, now you're giving yourself content for social media and for your emails. Talk about the parks, the restaurants, the entertainment and nightlife. And I can't, like, there's so many ideas. Sports, again, golf courses in the area, nearest public tennis and basketball courts. I can tell you that one I used to do for that parish, that new home construction, they were a big boating place. So I actually did a blog on the waters in that area, of the routes and where restaurants are on the water. And they loved it. That was actually a popular blog. I did it was called like Dock and Dine, and that was very popular. So again, you're catering to your market and where you're at. So if you're focusing on waterfront homes, then think about that. Coffee places, day trips and local getaways. Those are always good too, because so many people, especially now with still this pandemic going on, they're not traveling as much. So talk about where they can do local getaways in their area. Right, obviously for your target market. So that's important to think about, because you can't just do marketing in general. You're going to fail. So do think about your target market. And that's where the analytics come in, to make sure of who you're targeting. Okay, you can't just target everybody. It doesn't work. So think about that. If you're targeting first-time homeowners, newlyweds, seniors, retirees, new parents, etc., that's different content for each one. Investors, would you recommend specific neighborhoods for potential future value due to planned infrastructure? So even talk about new construction going up if you have that around you. Sellers. So think about all the questions sellers asked when you were obtaining a listing. Provide typical Q&A format. Okay, I actually have an agent right now. She does this 100% on her Instagram. She literally only does Instagram, and she is booming right now. But what she does is she'll do little short things based on what her sellers or buyers are asking her for. And she'll do little videos on it. And she'll basically, that's exactly what she'll do, is she'll answer their questions. So think about stuff like that. And again, that answerthepublic.com gives you a lot of ideas on that. But you guys don't even realize the stuff that you get asked and you answer. It's so natural to you that you don't even realize those can fulfill a lot of other people's questions. So provide answers to, obviously, to their typical questions. Follow up with an email. Relocation. So again, like I talked about, think about people moving to this state. They don't know the area. What would they want to know? What do they need to know? Obviously, Florida's different in taxes and stuff. So talk about that. Talk about the weather here, whatever. Talk about all that. Kids. Obviously, kids are such a big thing. If you're targeting families, talk about the kid activities. Maybe you do a blog on kid-friendly places. You could do the same with dog-friendly places to go eat. Okay, since that's a big thing. I just said pets. See, pets. So talk about that. Talk about the dog parks, the restaurants that allow you to go eat. I know by us, Fort Lauderdale, they have a lot that you can bring your dogs to. Think about, like, even talk about yourself, why people should work with you. You can even talk about, like, you're talking to another agent, because that's going to show your expertise. Maybe you provide real estate tips that you give to other agents. For a new agent coming into this business, what should they know? Those types of things. What do you love about your area or niche? Testimonials. Obviously, testimonials are great. Or that you can get your clients on video, though, I'm telling you as a home. Get a video testimonial. They go further because people are responding to them much, much better than the written testimonial. So you can pull some of that written into the, obviously, pull quotes out from those video testimonials and put them into written. See, the content, the topics keep going. I'm trying to fill you guys with tons of topics here. Marketing. So think about what unique ways to do your market. So how do you do your marketing? If you're using Listing Concierge, that can be a blog right there. You could blog about everything on Listing Concierge. You can basically break it down, and that's your blog. It's basically already done for you. Clients, interview your recent home buyers and sellers to see what they liked about a certain area or neighborhood. Ask what they wish they had known before they listed or bought. So especially if you're farming a certain neighborhood, that's a great thing to do, is to interview the residents there. Staging. What should I know about staging my home? Renovations. See, again, remember, guys, we have Real Vitalize. That can be a blog right there, is on Real Vitalize, about how we have a program that helps sellers fix up their home. You can sell it for more. That's a blog right there. Blogs to inspire. So here's a ton of different blogs. Obviously, if you guys ever get stuck on blogging, these were some options. You know, look at the Coldwell Banker blog. The Ryan, he's got a great blog. These are some other ones. Notorious ROB, Lab Coat Agents. Tom Ferry always has a great one. Mansion Global, that's definitely for the more high end. Curbed, Karak, and Inhabit. These are all great blogs, and if you guys want me to send this to you, just send me an email and I'll send you the PowerPoint. There's all links. You can click on all these. They're all linkable to go to. But see, look, if I go into Ryan's, see if I can open it. Yeah, I can. Okay, this is an example of his blog. Now look, this is simple. Would anyone think to do a blog on a morning routine, how to create one and why you need one? I mean, this is what he blogs about. Work-life balance. So obviously he's talking about how he's successful running Facebook and Instagram ads. How to get your Washington real estate license. I mean, you see he blogs about all this stuff. Florida real estate. All of this is in here. So obviously he's marketing to like the mass. He's marketing to agents, obviously. Here, I'll show you my blog that I used to do. I think it's still. This was the community. It was called the Islands on the Manatee River. And they were very high end. So everybody had a dock. Started at $1 million and went up. And they were all like custom homes. So here's kind of what I blogged about. And it's so funny because they haven't changed anything since I left. So staging tips to help sell your home fast. Okay. Fun amenities to enjoy near Parrish, Florida. Top dock. This is the one I was telling about. Top 6. Yeah, I put a number in there. Top 6 dock and dine restaurants on the Manatee River. This was a very popular. I got a lot of traction for this. Another one, 5 reasons why people retire in Sarasota, Florida. Now, if you guys go search this, you could take any of these and say just reasons why people retire to Florida. Okay, I turned it into 5 in Sarasota. This could be anything. You guys can have 10 reasons why people retire to Orlando or to Naples or to Fort Lauderdale. You have it all there. It's all out there. Okay, so some things to keep in mind, like here, things to know about moving to Florida's Gulf Coast. This is how you actually structure the blog. So you see how it's broken up. Okay, there's never a long paragraph. That's what you have to keep in mind when you're blogging. You never write like a long essay. It doesn't go well on websites. Everybody hates it. Search engines hate it. People hate reading like that. But this is what they like. Okay, this is what search engines like. They like when you have something in bold. So they like a header like this. Okay, so you highlight something and you see that you only write a couple sentences underneath. So these don't take long to do. You already have all this stuff out there. This is where you can easily pull from other people and then make it your own, make it into your own words and do it. So even adding in an image, this is where you can hide in keywords. And then you see at the bottom, that example down there. Let me see this one, 5 reasons why people retire. And this was very popular blog. You can see that I'm not saying anything special in here. A range of cultural offerings, mild weather, less expensive, which really we know that, but you get the idea. So here's the call to action. So to learn more about the islands, could be the right for your Florida retirement, contact us today or set up a tour. There's a link in there, and then this actually linked them to the brochure. So I know we can't technically do that on the InTouch. I think on the new website we will be able to do that. But so far on InTouch we can't do this. So how you do this on InTouch, let me show you InTouch. Okay, so InTouch, it does have the blog feature. It does only come from Pro. So you do have to have the InTouch Pro in order to have the blog feature. But there it is, blog post. So you see they give you 3 dummy ones already. Okay, and this is kind of how it's set up here. So this title also ends up becoming your URL. So when we talked about the importance of having your keywords in your URL, it's in your title. So you see here, this is now my URL for this blog. It basically breaks up that title into the URL. Okay, so that's where you got to remember what your keywords. Here is your image. So this doesn't allow you to put, doesn't allow you to put keywords behind it. But what you can put keywords is behind when you put images in here. That's your main image. And basically you see that you just start blogging. See, now they did this one a little weird. It has all this. But for example, like this picture, you see how if I put a picture in, it says meta description. That's where you can hide the keywords. So the meta description is something that you see only on the back end. You don't see, no one else sees that. That's where you can hide additional keywords. So remember, and try to remember this with a blog. Okay, this is where like a lot of agents get confused on the keywords and everything. So what I would do is I would focus on, say, 1 keyword per blog. It's got to be a long tail keyword. So for example, that other one I used earlier was real estate in Fort Lauderdale. So if I was going to do real estate in Fort Lauderdale, then I would make sure most of my stuff was real estate in Fort Lauderdale. So I would have it in my title. I would make sure any picture that I posted, I would have that in my meta description would say real estate in Fort Lauderdale. In that, you get the idea. But this is where I would make sure, and then also in your copy, then make sure you keep reiterating that. Okay, and then you have your other categories. But on the bottom here, so you can't do that download brochure, unfortunately, but you can always add a link. Okay, so you can add that same line that I had, say if we were pretending this was my call to action. I can add that in here. There. So if this was going to be it, and then I can have contact us. Okay, your contact us today, this can be your link to your form on your website. Okay, if you don't know what I mean by that, let me show you. So this is your website, right? All you have to do is hit that contact us page. It literally is usually it's your website name /contact. This can be where I direct everybody to. So now this can be my call to action. I can link that. So I just copy that URL. Now I highlight this. A little weird, I think, because I grabbed one of these other blogs. Not this weird when you do it yourself. Okay, here. I need that control bar. Okay, so once you highlight it, you look for that little link button right there. And then now I can put a link in there. You see, and that's how it's going to be displayed. Contact us. And then I can always say new window. So new window, I always like to do new window. But if you're on your own website, it doesn't matter. But new window basically means that they won't need what they're looking at. It'll open a new window. So they won't lose what they're looking at. And then your title, again, that allows you for more keywords. So this is where you can type in, say, for example, if this one. Lauderdale. I could type that in and see that doesn't show. That's just now gave me more keywords to put in there. So that's basically how you set this up. Okay, and when you're doing this on your own, you literally just hit add new post and you start writing. That's your characters. Just remember you have to be under 50. Your image, you just change your image here and then you just start writing. And remember, like what I would tell you guys too is a lot, think about mirror markets. So a lot of times when I look at mirror markets, I look at things like California. Okay, California is a great mirror market. Because California is a lot like, actually that was the end of it. That was the end of the thing. Okay, good. But California is a lot like Florida. So I always look at it, and if you grab blogs out there, you're not like so worried about copy infringement or anything because it's totally separate from what they were, not related to us. But look at it, and when I say like don't copy, I mean we all, like I said, we all did ads, we all did essays. So for example, like say if I was going to say why retire to Florida, I mean this can probably give me a ton of different ideas. Look, 10 things you must know about retiring, 11 reasons, 10 reasons, tax benefits. So this is where I say like you could basically take a little bit from each one and make it your own. Put it in your own format, put it in your own order, and don't think that you have to sit there and start with a blank piece of paper. All you have to do is really focus on the topics. So again, that other one that I talked about, answerthepublic.com. Okay, let me show you the site. Okay, this is what it looks like. This is where you can put in anything. So here I had what, move to Florida. Let's just say that. Let's say if we move to Florida. Wow, it's going slow today. Okay, and this is what you get. You see this big circle here, and I can even save this. I can save this images. It lets me save as. You can even download this as a CSV. It's going to give you all the topics. But look at what it's asking. Now, some of it is redundant, but you will get a couple ideas out of here. So here, why did you move to Florida? Why did Epstein move to Florida? Okay, some of these will be political. Look, who has moved to Florida by Chapter 7? How to move to Florida with no money. Okay, that's not a good one. I wouldn't blog about that one. But look, where to move to Florida. So here you can talk like maybe that's something in your blog talk is where to move. Where should I move to Florida? See, that keeps coming up. Where to move to Florida? Where to move in South Florida? So then you say like your blog can then be move to South Florida or something. Then you're answering that question. And then here it keeps going around. It talks about taxes. So why move to Florida taxes? So then taxes, obviously, you can talk about. So you get the idea, and then you can always come in, and it keeps going on. You can literally keep going down here, and it gets more and more, even more stuff. Move to Florida from New Jersey, from New York, from Canada. Move to Florida to avoid income tax. Like these are all giving you ideas of what you could talk about as far as your topics. Okay, and look, it keeps going more and more narrow. Get the idea. It keeps going and going and going. So you could even say as far as real estate. So here, all I have to do is go back. Remember, this only allows you 3 searches a day. So say if I said, okay, real estate in, let me try to be specific and see what happens. Fort Lauderdale. But you guys can put in even stuff like selling your home, buying a home, and see what are the questions people want to know about that. So here it tells you how is the real estate market in Fort Lauderdale. So right there, that's a blog right there. How is the real estate market in Fort Lauderdale? That's going to be where your market update is going to answer that question. Real estate in Fort Lauderdale Beach, real estate in foreclosures, condos, the luxury real estate market. You get the idea. And then, of course, use that other option that I gave you. And then it gets further and further down. Like you see, it just keeps going. It narrows down even more. So what was that other one I gave you? Uber Suggest. That was another one. Okay, Uber Suggest. Check out that one. This is where you can actually get an idea for SEO. So here it actually says, what is the URL of your website? And basically they'll go analyze it. This is not what you want. You don't want that. This is what I'm talking about, is domain overview, keyword suggestions. Okay, if you want suggestions or blog ideas, you can come here and search stuff in here and they will tell you some ideas. See, enter a domain or a keyword. And this guy too, just so you guys know this, because I follow this guy a lot, is Neil Patel. He is like an SEO guru. He knows like everything on SEO. So here I did real estate in Fort Lauderdale, and it's telling you how many people are actually searching it, how difficult it is to pop up for that. So it's actually fairly easy because it's a long one. And then he'll give you kind of ideas to focus on. So here, real estate in Fort Lauderdale, real estate agents in Fort Lauderdale, content ideas, real estate boom in Fort Lauderdale, find the best real estate agents. So then he's giving you blogs that are already out there. Homes for sale, you get the idea. Okay, and it even says like view all content, you can even go more. So there are some little tips and tricks there, and even keyword ideas. So this stuff is all out here for you guys. If you ever get stuck, this guy's like I think he's like an SEO genius. But here, even if you guys don't know like tags or keywords, like long tails, he's literally giving them to you. He's telling you how much volume is searching in that and how you can narrow it down. So remember how like some can be harder. So like obviously the real estate in Fort Lauderdale is very high. It has a little higher difficulty. SEO is at 18, so maybe you do something else. They have other ways around it. Homes for sale, you see it's a little less. Get the idea. Don't upgrade. I don't ever pay for anything on these stuff. Just come back and do it again. See, 3 out of 3. See, he does the same thing. 3 free searches a day. Then he's going to make you pay. But you don't need that. If you're only doing a blog or 2 a month, just like take it and rack this stuff up on your free time. I know you don't have any, but you see how long, it doesn't take long to just come here and search. I literally spent the last 10 minutes just doing these little keyword searches here. All right, so what questions do you have for me? I know I threw a lot at you guys. Any questions, any comments, any issues? Okay, let me see. Oh, a guinea pig. Here, I will put my email in the chat. I ask that you just send me an email and just put in there PPT as the subject, and I will send you the PowerPoint. I'm not going to go back through this chat. So if you're writing it in the chat, I'm not going to send it to you. Send me an email and I'll send you the PowerPoint. But what other questions you guys have? Anything? You guys good? You ready to blog? Yes, absolutely. So the blogging starts just, Scott writes, so we can start a blog just by using the blog function in InTouch. Yes, that's all you need. Sometimes people overthink the blog, but InTouch gives it to you. So if you guys are pro, you should see this blog post on your website. All you have to do is go to your website, edit site, or you can literally go to that blog post area, and there it is, blog post. Like I said, just remember how you build it, okay? And if you guys even want, like that one blog that I did, you guys should go to it. Go to this blog. It gives you ideas. If you're looking, and I don't copy it. I'm the one who wrote it, so you can't get in trouble if you copy any of these because I wrote them all. So these are all free, but it gives you an idea of how to set this up. So you can see like a lot of this. And I even give stuff on like staging your home or fixing it up, those types of things. See, what is Florida weather really like? Those were, again, targeting people who were not from Florida. But just remember when you're doing this here, the best way is to spend the day in the Florida outdoors, where all of us can talk about this. All of us, and no matter what area we're in, can talk about this. But just remember to break it up like this. You highlight the bold topic on the front, and then all you're doing is like 1 or 2 lines below it. Okay, that's how you have to that's how you have to write on websites. Okay, this is how the websites like stuff. But then that's it. You just literally start. So if you have your In Touch, you have your blog post, yeah, you can start immediately blogging. They even do have a an article library in here. I don't recommend it. It's very old and bad. But if you did want to look at it, it may give you some ideas. You see there's stuff on here, real estate. It will give you some ideas on here. I wouldn't use them because I've looked at a few and they're bad. So what about a blog about a 2 or 3 condo buildings? Yeah, I mean, look. Oh wait, hold on. I gotta go back further. I didn't see. So she says, where is the best place to set up a blog? So honestly, you can set up whatever. I mean, the In Touch blog works perfect if you're using In Touch. If not, WordPress has blogs. 100% WordPress is great. You could do anywhere. I mean, anywhere to set up a blog. GoDaddy, you can easily set up a blog. Any of that. It's very easy. All you're doing is basically paying. So if you are setting up a blog outside, I always like to have the blog integrated with my website. I think it helps a lot because what happens is your goal and my marketing as a marketing person's goal is once they're reading my blog, I'm hoping they're going to go out and search on my website. That's always usually what happens, and that's how you actually get more leads. So if you are using an external blog and putting it on, say, In Touch, just make sure you're linking it in your In Touch as well. Okay, it's the only benefit. That's the downfall though, is because your goal is you want them to search around your site. Yeah, so I mean, look, you can do a blog on anything. I would blog about new construction. I don't know, you talk about what a blog about a 2 or 3 condo buildings. Yeah, I mean, guys, blog about what you think people want to know. Okay, if you think people want to know about that building, then blog about it. That's what I'm saying. You guys should know what people want to know. You are the ones who get all the questions, and that's what you need to start taking note of. Is what questions are they asking me? What do people want to know? If I'm getting a new lead or a new buyer, a new seller, what are the questions that I get? And like I said, In Touch is great. WordPress is great. It's not difficult, guys. It's just literally taking the time to put it together. What other questions you guys have? And honestly, how I did this, guys, just to give you a little tip, this is how I used to do this. Because literally what comes down to is you get stuck on content. So if you're feeling like really creative one day, like say you're really like inspired after this class, maybe, hopefully you're inspired after this class. But say after this class, you feel like you get inspired. Then maybe what you do is you take the next 20, 30 minutes after this class and you just take a Word doc and write a bunch of topics. That's what I did. I literally took an hour one day. I just took a Word doc and I went around and looked and I wrote a bunch of different topics that I can blog about. Then when it comes time to blogging, all I would do is open up that Word doc and be like, okay, which one am I going to blog about today? That's going to take out half of the battle for you. Just sit there one day and just write a ton of different topics that you get ideas for. And then as new ideas come, just add to that doc. And then you always have something that you can pull from very easily. So you're not frantically being like, what am I going to blog about today? That's where it comes in marketing. That's where the failure comes, is where you start overwhelmed and you don't know what to do. And then you just grab things and throw it together. That's what you don't want to do. All right, what other questions? I did put my email in there. Yeah, my email's in there. So just send me an email. I do hear it blowing up, so probably you guys are emailing me. What other questions? Anything? Are you guys good? Comfortable? And you know, guys, feel free. If you want to run something by me, I'm more than happy to help you. If you guys are stuck with ideas, anything, just be like, hey, I don't know what to blog about. I'll send you a ton of ideas. All right, anything else? Anything else you guys want? You guys good? Everybody ready to blog? Listen, I think you guys are taking the first step because you guys are on this class and you're wanting to learn the blogging because I think it's very, very crucial. It's going to help you immensely. And the more that you can integrate video, because video is huge as well, do the video and the blogging. Be a home run. All right, any other questions or I'll let you guys go. All right, like I said, feel free. My email's in there. Feel free to reach out. If you guys have any additional questions that come up after this class, I'm more than happy to answer them. But I'll give you guys 30 minutes back to your life so you can go blog all those ideas down. All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a great rest of the day and the rest great week. And I will talk to you all soon.